All right, so we'll go ahead and call this evening's school board meeting into session. And the first item of business is the approval of the agenda. And colleagues, you'll remember from today's workshop that there are some agenda changes. In recognitions, we added item 3.4, recognition of Roderick Cabrera, 2024 2A 199-pound weightlifting traditional division, Florida High School Athletic Association state champion. We also added item 3.5, recognition of Ty Ronsdeville, 2024 2A 154-pound weightlifting Olympic division, Florida High School Athletic Association state champion. Need a motion, please.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Bryant,
I'll second.
second by Dr. Kelly. Any discussion? Being none, let's vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries 4-0. And that now takes us down to Section 3, recognitions. 3.1 was a workshop item recognizing and appreciating the Fort Walton Beach Women's Club, presented by Superintendent Chambers and Ms. Ivanchek. And then 3.2 is Children in Crisis Change for Children campaign, presented by Ms. Kitty Johnson, member of the Board of Directors, Children in Crisis. And Superintendent, as I said, I'll turn it over to you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and School Board. And as the group comes forward, I do want to welcome who's new with us, the President and CEO, Mr. Kevin Maloney. And then I know this group of Ms. Johnson and Ms. Ross, they need no recognition in terms of them being
Long
back.
time friend.
But I do want to say to each of you, both of you, longtime educators in Okaloosa schools, and then, of course, a true partner with us in the Change for Children in Crisis. And, of course, they're going to go into exactly what this is, but couldn't thank you more for continuing with us each year, because the students are the ones who are the benefactors. So just thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chambers. And following up on that, we can't thank you all enough for supporting the Change for Children campaign, which we believe that this is the 18th year that we have conducted this in the Okaloosa County schools. So what we're really excited about tonight is to recognize the top fundraisers in each category. We do it by high school, middle school, community, and elementary school. So that's what we plan on doing tonight. So as you said, I'm Mary Jane Ross with my cohort, Kitty Johnson, and we have introduced Kevin Maloney, our new CEO and President of Children in Crisis. And I'd also like to introduce, I have Margie Zant and Harriet Pope and Ann Cannon here with us, who are members of Alpha Delta Kappa. And the Alpha Delta Kappa group is our education sorority. It's an honorary sorority that sponsors the Change for Children campaign in the schools. So we all work closely, all of those former retired teachers who keep on keeping on. So thank you again.
Thank you. And I also say thank you profusely to all of you. But Mary Jane and I also serve on the Board of Directors, which you said, of Children in Crisis. And of course, we're so pleased to have Kevin on board. He's been just really wonderful these first 5 or 6 months. But we thank you for supporting our children, the neglected, the abused, the abandoned children that live in our neighborhood. And I think we're almost full up right now, right,
We are.
Kevin? So.
And the Change for Children campaign, just, I never know which way to go. The Change for Children campaign, as I'm sure all of you know, but to reiterate, the purpose of it is to raise money in the schools for the children who live in the neighborhood. And as Kitty said, these are the children that have been abandoned, abused, neglected. And these funds are used strictly for, we have learned that they need school shirts now that so many of the schools do uniforms. So that money is used for spirit shirts, for field trips, and help feed and clothe these students. And the other thing we feel like it's a real factor is the fact that it teaches the students the need of some of their classmates who just are less fortunate they are for whatever circumstance. So we feel it fills that void.
And especially to give back to the community. Well, this school, we'll move on now. This year, this school year, we had 21 schools participate. Last year, we only had 19, so that's a growing number, but we're real pleased to have 21. But the main thing we want to say is all of the funds that those 21 schools raised, we appreciate tremendously. And it certainly doesn't go unnoticed, no matter how much it was. But we're here tonight just to pat on the back the schools in the 4 categories who raised the most funds. And it's pretty consistent, I tell you. You're always seeing the same people. It seems year after year, for sure. So Mary Jane's
So
going to start.
I am going to begin with the top fundraiser in the high school category is Choctawhatchee High School. With us tonight is Dee Dee Shank, who is the school sponsor who helped raise these funds. Unfortunately, Ms. Heck could not be here for personal reasons, but we all appreciate her and thank her as well. This year, Choctawhatchee raised $1,571 and has been, this is has been the top high school fundraiser for the last 11 years. Thank you, Choctaw Indian. What are we missing?
Thank you. It's so fun because so many of these kids, Dee Dee was my student, we come in here and we say, oh, I remember when. Here they
I
are,
say we
principals
lots
and
of
high
stories.
schools, and I think, whoa.
Okay,
Thank you, Dee Dee, and
next up
the next two.
is the top fundraiser in the middle school category is Ruckle Middle School. So with Principal Josie and sponsor Angela Margot. Okay, Kitty and I are their ADK contacts, and I want to tell you, this school is amazing beyond amazing. I refer to them as the Magnificent Middle School. This year, they raised $3,195.16. They have been the top fundraiser in the middle school for the last 12 out of the 13 years. Here we go. Here, come on. So we thank them. Here, you all, I don't need to be in that group. So anyway, thank you, Ruckle Rams, because you guys.
Kevin has your plaque.
Okay, I'm gonna get a stool because I always stand next to the pole.
And I'll say,
And that's my
still
next
calling
stool.
Joey,
Those are
Joey was
beautiful.
one of mine for 4 years in Homer. So, he says he doesn't
Thank
mind.
you, Ruckle.
Okay, the
Okay.
next one is just right in line over there.
And you're next.
Okay, we're going to do the next one.
Okay.
The next one is Top Elementary School. And this is Eglin, I am so sorry, Destin Elementary School.
Yes.
Destin Elementary School is the top fundraiser in the elementary category. So their school contacts are Miss Ann Cannon and Marcy's aunt, so would y'all come up here and help?
I'm gonna fill in for
You, I was
you.
gonna say, you don't look like Miss Marvel, we'll take you.
I have a connection to Destin.
Okay, I'm so glad to tell this.
No, this is Mr. Meyer.
Oh,
Who is
Mr.
the
Meyer,
villain.
okay. I was gonna say, Ms. Meyer and Mr. Tukolovich.
Just call him Amy
could not be
anyway.
here tonight, so, anyway. Let me just tell everybody a little bit about Destin. They have been the top elementary fundraiser for the last 5 years. But these two ladies, I want you to know,
These two little
Margie
ladies.
and Ann,
Not this one.
they came to our CIC office and picked up 53 water jugs. We get water jugs that commercially they use and paint them, and Mr. Close was like it. Anyway, and they took to the school, 53 of them out to Destin Elementary. and brought them back for us, for CIC staff to count. But they were half full of pennies, dimes, quarters. Can you imagine how heavy? Mark, you were trying to introduce them. But anyway, they really worked hard. But what I want to say is we have to call him our honorary committee member. And that's Mr. Dick Cannon, because he's always helping all this transportation and everything that Destin likes to do. So we're glad to have you.
Thank you, ma'am.
So anyway, Destin Elementary raised $3,456.72. Thank you, Dick.
This is Mrs. Meyer here. Thank you much.
Okay, and the next category is our community school category. And if any of you here, I know the board knows, this is the group of schools that may be K through 12 or like STEM, that they're just certain amounts. And Lewis is one that just say they're not the traditional, classes in them. So would like for Ms. Hahn, please, and Haley. This is Haley Dukes. And Stephanie Hicks. Is Stephanie not with us tonight?
No, she couldn't
She
come.
couldn't come.
Had ball games.
So let me tell you, they are the top fundraiser in the community school category, but not only, I need a drum roll, they're not only that, they are the top fundraiser for the entire school district. It's, school. They are, that's what we tell them every time. They serve pre-K through 2nd grade and have, give or take, 300, students in their school. And they raise that much money with a fun color run that Miss Haley over there was making sure she was making it happen, and we're along with Miss Hahn. So we are so proud of you all. This is their 5th year in a row to be a top fundraiser. And we want to congratulate Ms. Hahn. She's retiring. We said, really? And then we said, hey, how about joining us and be on our Change for Children committee? And she said she's thinking about it. So that's wonderful. Congratulations to you, Ms. Hahn, for your retirement. And
No, you never can
just best
retire.
of everything to you.
Look at us.
So go outside primary.
It was how much? Oh, how much was it, Ms.
Oh, I
Kitty?
didn't say how, I thought I
Wait
said that at the
till- just
beginning.
wait.
Okay,
We'll wait till you wait.
okay, I'm sorry. They raised $4,203.49. I always get so excited about this.
Thank you, Ms. Hahn. She has just been an inspiration to all of us and her staff, so thank you all. Did we get
I
it?
tell you what, she has definitely gone the extra mile, this lady right here. So thank you. Mrs. Deborah's or Haley's? Okay. Well, that's our school top fundraisers, and they're all wonderful, but just lastly, thank you again for your support, your wonderful support. But we wanted to say thank you for all you do for all the students in our school district. I think we're pretty proud of who we are in our school district. So I think Kevin wanted to just say a couple of words, but thank you for letting us be here.
Yes, I'd like to say thank you very much on behalf of Children in Crisis. I've been blessed for a 20-year Air Force career and then a 20-year career in child welfare. And we have over 18,500 children in out-of-home care in the state of Florida. And we have over 1,090 just here in our own circuit. So the impact that you guys make here, and I see your core values as community engagement. To the world, you may be one person, but to one person, you may be their world. Okaloosa County School District is a world to these children. So thank you.
Well, we appreciate you folks and for all the good that you've done. And Superintendent, I don't think we have a cumulative total, although Ms. Perry could probably provide that eventually. But you have literally contributed thousands upon thousands of dollars to these kids over the years. And I know they are grateful, and we're grateful too. And someone may have that number. You raised your hand.
Yes, actually, I was doing my board report for our board of directors, and the cumulative total is almost 32,000.
That's awesome. Yep, that's what I meant. That's what I meant. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, awesome. That's just this year?
Yeah.
Well, if you look at it over the years, then that figure would be astronomical. So thank you again. Very, very grateful. All right, colleagues, we'll now go ahead and move on to item 3.3, recognition of Brendan Giddings, 2024 3A 154-pound weightlifting Olympic division, Florida High School Athletic Association state champion, presented by Superintendent Chambers. Superintendent?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and School Board. I want to start off with just a few comments for the three individuals that we're recognizing tonight. And it's interesting as we look around the room, I will say a lot of times we don't have necessarily a lot of former athletes in the room. And tonight we have a lot of former athletes in the room, even some state champions. And I say that to say because they understand, and I know the parents and families understand, and definitely the three individuals understand, winning a state title doesn't happen on the day of the event. Winning a state title started 2 years ago, 3 years ago, last summer. And winning a state title takes a lot of blood, sweat, tears, frustration, defeat in order to get to where you are today. And when you read a little bit about these individuals, they started in the weightlifting program. They didn't necessarily win right away. But what was interesting reading a lot of their bios was they were determined and they wanted to come back even stronger than they were the year before. And that's something that I think is a life lesson, and it's something that's going to be with you not only tonight, not only when you won the state championship, but 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 20 years from now, when you look back, you're not only going to be proud of yourself, but you're going to say, where I am today is also a testament to the things that I went through when I was in weightlifting, when I was in athletics. And that's one of the beauties. When you look at the A+ right there on that insignia back here, and the plus is for academics, the arts, and athletics. And it's about having opportunities for students. And we could not be more proud of each of you. And we're going to recognize them now. And we're going to have their principal and their coaches come forward. They're going to share a little bit of information. And I shared with each of them, they have a 10-minute speech that they're going to provide. And one of them looked me dead in the eye and said, okay. So, but we're not going to do that tonight, though, okay? So we're going to start with Mr. Brendan Giddings. And he is the 154-pound weightlifting Olympic Division Florida High Athletic Association state champion. And before Brendan comes on up, I'd like Mr. Morello to come forward, and coaches come forward. And then Brendan, if you'd also come with them, but these individuals may have a few words about you.
I do indeed. So before I turn it over to Coach Finley, who will speak specifically about Brendan and his championship and the state this year, a quick little ditty about Brendan. So I've known Brendan as a competitive athlete through middle school, and Brendan is a gifted athlete in other sports. This is as far as even the varsity level of high school. So Brendan is a phenomenal basketball player and football player, and he was excelling in both of those at the high school level as well. Brendan, anyone who knows him knows he's a gamer and a competitor. But Brendan saw a path for himself to win a state championship in weightlifting, but he knew in order to do that, that would take a year-round type of training. That meant he was going to have to make a decision about playing football and basketball. And ultimately, he decided that he was not going to do that, that he wanted to focus on weightlifting and go get that state championship. And I think he probably caught a little flack for that around school, but I appreciate his resolve and his he saw that path and he was determined to say, this is what I want to do. And obviously, he stuck to it and he saw it through. So Coach Finley will talk specifically about this championship, but Brendan, I just wanted to know you to know in front of all these folks how much I respect you making that decision and seeing it through and making it happen for yourself. Thank you.
First off, I'd like to thank you guys for doing this. I think it's cool we get to recognize these kids for their hard work and time they put in for their craft. When I first arrived in Niceville, one of the kids that they told me to look out for was Brendan. Pretty good football player, pretty good point guard on the basketball team. I even watched him lead our we do like an annual kickball tournament. He led his team to win that, and he plays a little pickleball every now and then also. So Brendan started his first season last year in weightlifting, 2023. As Mr. Morello said, he's an athlete, so it was easy for him to pick up these type of things. He got better as the season went on, and he eventually he wound up competing, and he made it to state his first year. So he had 20 people he had to compete with in his first year, and he came 15th. So like he took that, he held his head high, and like he knew what he had to do. That whole summer he was putting in work. He'd post like videos and stuff. Me and Coach Moore would send it around like, yeah, he's dedicated. So time come around, we get in January and we have 35 kids. Like our first couple of days come out to weightlifting, it was like, wow, this sport is growing, and half of them didn't know how to do a snatch, and Brendan was part of that to help them develop and do that. And then we wound up winning district championship, traditional Olympic, and he was a big part of that. We went to regionals. He came first place, and then we have 2 weeks to prepare for state. He knew what he had to do, how much weight he had to cut, and he was just so dedicated. We drove down to Lakeland, and we stopped at Busy Bee, and I don't know if y'all know, but so you weigh in the day before you lift. So that whole time we're driving down to Lakeland, these kids, they don't eat for sure, but I don't even know if they drink water. They maybe drink water. So we get to Busy Bee, and I get me a little pizza and a Gatorade, and Brendan's like, dang, Coach, you gonna do me like that? And I said, yeah, I'm gonna do you like that. So that just shows this little dedication he had to. So he weighed as light as he could, and we get to that day, and he did what he had to do, and he wound up winning a state championship. So that was pretty cool to be a part of. That's more towards him, and I was just there for the ride, I guess. But Brendan's still prepping. He's going to Pittsburgh in June to compete for nationals. So he has a good shot to get a medal there. And the next year he'll be attending UWF studying sports science. So, man, we're so proud of you, and everything you do and get in this life you definitely deserve. Brendan Ginnens, everybody.
I just want to thank my coaches, my parents, and my teammates for pushing me to be the best I could be, and I want to thank the Okaloosa County School District as well for having us here today. Appreciate you guys.
Mom, you want to come be part of the picture?
Congratulations. All right, that takes us to item 3.4, recognition of Roderick Cabrera, 2024 2A 199-pound weightlifting traditional division, Florida High School Athletic Association state champion, presented by Superintendent Chambers. Superintendent.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and School Board. And again, another state champion. And like you just said, the 199-pound 2A traditional state champion. And if we were to put all the weights together of what these athletes lifted, I think we would be astounded. There's a few adults in here who think they can still lift, and then they realize they can't once the kids come forward. So we appreciate you. So Principal Smith, Athletic Director McDaniel, and coaches, if you'd come forward. And we're starting with Roderick.
Good evening. Thank you guys so much for celebrating these kids because they're awesome, right? And I'm just going to speak to Roderick and Ty, and then I'll talk about Pulliam for a second. But they're student athletes, but they're leaders on our campus, and we're so happy that they represent us and they sit here today and they do so much for our culture. Roderick walked across the stage last week, and then we still get to keep Ty for another year. So we're excited about that. And I'm going to let Coach Pulliam talk about them. But our coaches put so much time into these sports. And I don't know how much you guys know about weightlifting. I learned a lot more. Ty and I have had some conversations because he's real into it. And so I've learned a lot about like nutrition and, you know, what you have to do to take care of your body and all those kinds of things. But they have these coaches that are with them along the way, and they do all that work. And so Pulliam and I go way back, and I'm really proud that he supports our athletes in the way that he does and just our students in the way that he does. He's a Viking through and through. So we're just really proud of this group, and they've just done amazing things for Fort Walton Beach High School. So Coach Pulliam.
Thank you, Ms. Smith. Appreciate you all letting us all come up and speak today. I've got so many coaches and former teachers and colleagues in here. It's such a blessing to even be a part of this and walk up here. It's so cool. Okaloosa County is just the best. Roderick, man, I got him. He came in his freshman year playing football and pumping iron. And you know, those guys, they love working out and getting after it. And he sort of kind of found his path after his freshman year. And him and his buddies have a place called The Shed. It's a pretty popular place. You know, you got all these other kids worrying about what they're going to do and what they're going to go on Friday night. Well, these guys are going to go to The Shed. And in The Shed, it's nothing but weights. And they're picking iron up and putting it down. And it could be Friday night, Saturday night, 1 a.m., 2 a.m., they're pumping iron. They can ask their parents, all that stuff. It's so cool. This year was just his first year of weightlifting, actually. I would always see him in the hallways, and I'm like, come on, man. I'm telling you, you'll be a state champion if you just come out. The hard work and dedication that you provide and the support that you have with your family, it'll happen. And he's like, I don't know, Coach, because he does powerlifting as well. So finally, within his senior year, I talked him into it, and I'm pretty sure he had a clean slate all the way through. He actually won state on his first attempt. Once he got his clean and jerk, he won it on his bench press after his first attempt, and then he was trying to go for a couple of state records from there at that weight class. He was trying to beat Walker Robinson's record at Fort Walton Beach as well, as far as his total is concerned. So it's a blessing to know him and his family, and his grandfather came to a lot of the meets, and he'd talk to me during the meets. I was like, yes, sir, well, I got to coach these guys up. But he'd be right there letting them know. And it was awesome. It's so great to see a family that supports everybody so much. And Roderick is just a great young man, and I'm thankful to know him and have the opportunity to coach him and look forward to bright things for his future. So with that being said, come on up, Roderick.
Hello. I just want to thank everybody in front of me today, the board, and my family as well that came out here to experience this as well. I want to thank my mom for helping me out through the whole way, and Coach for pushing me to do this because I never thought I could. I also want to thank Spolsky for being a great principal at the beginning. Funny story, funny enough, my car got towed and he ended up paying for it because it was a school event. But also want to thank everybody in this room today, and just want to thank God and everybody else. Thank you.
I don't think the superintendent told us about that.
Congratulations. I remember you walking across the stage Friday night. Get a picture. Stand next to me. Keep smiling on this.
Congratulations again. All right, that'll take us to 3.5, recognition of Ty Rounsaville, 2024 2A 154-pound weightlifting Olympic division Florida High School Athletic Association state champion, presented by Superintendent Chambers. Superintendent.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, School Board. And like you say, we have Ty Rounsaville, who's before us. And I'll just say one neat thing, and we're about to recognize him for being a state champion, but he was also one of the individuals that was with us, Ms. Gardner, when we spoke to the students at Fort Walton Beach High School. And so I'll just say to the parents, very well spoken, confident young man, and had good conversations with us. So with that being said, if Principal Smith and Coach, if you'd come forward and share some words about Ty.
Oh, hello again. Thanks for having me up here. Appreciate everybody very much. You really don't understand how much and how blessed I am right now to be able to come up here and speak and to do what I love. And it coach young men and women to move on to the next part of their life, better people. And Ty is going to have an incredible story. He's still writing his book now, and I've been telling him since his freshman year he is going to probably write a book. And his story, as far as weightlifting is concerned, has been incredible. He started with football, and he played a couple of years, and then saw his path was weightlifting. And, you know, his freshman year, he medaled and placed. His sophomore year, he had an opportunity and saw some adversity, and that's a blessing sometimes to be able to see those things. It helps you learn and grow as a person. And then he was so dedicated in the hours and time that he put in to come back and win a state championship and then runner-up as well in the same weight class in the other division. The sky's the limit for this young man. He's always communicating. His nutrition is the best there is, without question. It's unbelievable. His social media, I'm sure people have seen where he is. He's going to do great things, but it's for the right reasons and in the right way that he does it. There's so many bad, negative things you hear and see out there. His story and his journey has been incredible, and I'm just thankful to have been a part, and I hope that we can continue rolling through that. June 3rd, Monday, we start again. So Ty Rounsaville, everybody, he's been awesome.
I just want to say thank you, all of you guys, for being here, everybody. I want to thank my dad, who at first got me into lifting. Thank you, I appreciate it. And my mom as well, and my whole family. Thank you, Coach Pulliam. I couldn't have done it without you. Thank you for all your support and everything. I really appreciate it. And yeah, thank you.
All right, that takes us to Section 4, Administrative and Personnel Appointments, 4.1. Appointment of Program Director for Maintenance, recommended by the Superintendent for approval.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, School Board. And I want to say one quick thing on that last group of presentations. 1,795 pounds worth of total weight that those three individuals lifted. So you think about that, almost 1,800 pounds.
Almost a ton.
I bring before you Mr. Robert McElroy. Mr. McElroy is a proud product of the Okaloosa County School District, where he attended Plu Elementary, Ruckle Junior High School, and is a 1988 graduate of Niceville High School. Upon graduating from high school, Mr. McElroy enlisted and served our country in the United States Navy from 1989 to 1993. After his honorable discharge from the Navy in 1993, he attended and obtained his Associates of Arts from Okaloosa Walton Community College. He then attended the University of Florida, where he was awarded a Bachelor of Arts degree from the College of Liberal Arts and Science. Mr. McElroy was accepted into the Pro Teach program at the University of Florida and received his master's degree in social studies in 1999. And so far, the only problem I have is this is from the University of Florida, but we'll let that slide. Mr. McElroy started his career in public education with Okaloosa County in 2000, where he taught social studies to the students of Bruner Middle School, Lewis Middle School, and Fort Walton Beach High School. While still teaching at Fort Walton Beach High School, he made the decision to obtain his master's degree in educational leadership from the University of West Florida. In 2019, he joined Baker School as the Dean of Students before being appointed as the assistant principal at Meigs Middle School in 2019, and then as an assistant principal at Niceville High School in 2021. Mr. McElroy and his family are excited that he'll be moving into this new role, if approved by the board, as the Program Director of Facilities and Maintenance for the Okaloosa County School District. And one thing that's not here is they have a family that has a long tradition and excellence in building construction, and I think Mr. McElroy may have even started his young tenure doing a lot of that work. So, Mr. McElroy.
Very good. Thank you, Superintendent. Gotta let us vote first. All right, colleagues, so that's your cue. I need a motion.
Also move it.
Motion by Dr. Kelly.
Second.
Second by Ms. Gardner. Any discussion? There being none, let's vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0. Now you can come forward.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. That would have been horrible if that didn't work out that way. But I appreciate you all up here giving me the opportunity to do that. First of all, like, glory to God. Man, there's some really talented people out here, and you guys are awesome. When I'm working out in my gym in the garage, I want to be you. So I'm going to be looking for YouTube stuff. Glory to God, like I said, first of all. And when you look back at that story, I'd be glad to share that with you when we have more time. But God was preparing me for this moment the whole entire way, all of my life. Like Mr. Chambers said, I started out with my dad's construction company at a very young age. Figure it out. Go out there and start picking up the jobs and cleaning up and getting to know those guys. And I'm like, I hate you, and I hate this job, and it's like horrible. So that also helped prod me along to move and get an education. And I could see at a very young age that the education was going to be important. I thought I was going to be a big warrior, and I joined the Navy to go over there and take care of Gaddafi, and had enough of that and realized that the education route was the way to go. And my mom's a teacher, so I have the best of both worlds. I have a general contractor for a father, and I have a mom who's an awesome teacher. And that's what I was going to do. I was going to be a teacher, and I had a very fulfilling life doing that. And I still worked construction on those summer times when we were off, and it was important to me, and I established a lot of relationships and learned how to work hard and put your nose to the grind and do the right thing. And it's served me well as a teacher, but also as an educator and an administrator. And I have been fulfilled in the administrative role. And when this job opportunity came available, I had to jump on that. This has me written all over it. And so I am grateful for the superintendent for allowing and affording me this opportunity to work for you in this role, and I'm looking very forward to that. I couldn't have done it without a team of people behind me. There have been people who have mentored me throughout my career. Joe Tucci over at Fort Walton, John over at Fort Walton. They just took me in like one of their own and helped me be who I am. Tracy Lamb is here. She was the person that gave me my first job as an administrator. I worked for Mike Martello up in Baker and Mrs. Hurley, and they poured into me and mentored me and helped me become who I am. And then there's those folks along the way, like you start to become a part of a team. And I think Mr. Wagner was the dean at Niceville, and Charlie Murillo and Kim Nihil Taylor and Becca. I mean, we're awesome. That was an awesome team to work for. We were able to put out a good product and take care of business over there. I will miss them.
But there's also people along the way, like Mr. Evans, who's our site-based tech. Challenging makes you look in the mirror and want to be a better person. And I will value that for the rest of my career. He helped make me who I am today, and I'm forever indebted to him for that. So the entire life story, God has been there for me and preparing the way. So I'm looking forward to helping make the maintenance and facilities department be the best that it can be, open up better communications between the department and the schools and those administrators, because it's important to let them know what's going on and to keep them in the loop and not have them waiting and getting anxious and frustrated, because that place is their home sometimes. I want to do a better job with that. And also, I'm just excited to get out there and get started and get working and work with those guys. There are a lot of talented guys that we have working in that department. They're fun, they've got a lot of energy, and they know how to fix things, and I'm ready to get out there and start working. So I appreciate the opportunity for this job.
Thank you.
Come on over here, Mom. How are you? Good to see you.
All right, so that now brings us to item 4.2, appointment of Program Director, Transportation, recommended by the Superintendent for approval. Mr. Chambers.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and School Board. I bring before you Mr. Ryan Gore. Mr. Gore is a proud product of the Okaloosa County School District. He attended Mary Esther Elementary School, Bruner Middle School, and graduated from Fort Walton Beach High School. After high school, he attended William Carey College, where he earned a bachelor's degree in education. After completing his bachelor's degree, he taught math and coached for 2 years at Hattiesburg, Mississippi. In 2004, Mr. Gore returned home to continue his career while earning a master's degree in educational leadership from the University of West Florida. Throughout his career in Okaloosa County, he has served in a variety of roles to include 2 years as a math teacher, approximately 7 years as a district administrator in the areas of Title I and information systems, as well as 7 years in high school administration. Mr. Gore's current position is in the Curriculum and Instruction Department. Mr. Gore.
Very good, thank you, sir. Need a motion?
So moved.
Motion by Mr.
I'll
Bryant.
second it.
Second by Ms. Evancheck. Any discussion? Being none, let's vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0. Congratulations, Mr. Gore.
First, want to thank Mr. Chambers and the board for the recommendation and approval. It's always difficult to leave a good team, so I want to thank Ms. Lightbourne, the curriculum team, the athletic directors across the county. We had our share of battles, but we had some good years, so I've always appreciated that and learned a lot. I also want to thank Mr. Spolsky, Mr. Meyer for this new opportunity. I realize it's a big job, so thank you again to the board and Mr. Chambers for the opportunity to overlap. Mr. McInnes has a lot of knowledge. He's going to leave some big shoes to fill. Jay, not Jeff, I don't want your job. So I do appreciate the opportunity. I'm going to try to soak up as much knowledge from him as possible. But I'm excited because I know I'm going to another good team. Folks like Ms. Jinks, Ms. Poole, Ms. Berry, and all the other professionals in the transportation department. So we'll hit the ground running, and I'll be soaking up as much knowledge as I can, and look forward to the challenge. Thank you again.
Awesome. And now that brings us to item 4.3, appointment of Program Director, Exceptional Student Education, recommended by Superintendent Chambers. Superintendent.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and Board. I bring before you Ms. Peacock. Ms. Peacock is a product of the Escambia County Schools, where she began her career as an educator teaching 5th grade. She continued serving students as a teacher of the gifted and talented and a resource model for grades K through 5. Ms. Peacock then transitioned to the position of instructional technology for the Florida Diagnostic and Learning Resources System, Fiddlers, for 7 years, where she served Escambia, Santa Rosa, and Okaloosa County school districts. Before joining Okaloosa County, she was the Region 1 Technology Coordinator for Florida's MTSS project, serving 19 districts in the Panhandle. Ms. Peacock has been in the Okaloosa County School District for 8 years. She started as the Assistive Technology Specialist, serving all the schools in the district prior to transitioning to the position of ESE Program Specialist. In that role, she oversaw all our related service programs. Ms. Peacock received her bachelor's degree in elementary education, her master's degree in instructional technology and design, and her specialist degree in educational leadership from the University of West Florida. I bring before you Ms. Judy Peacock.
Thank you, sir. Need a motion?
I'll move it.
Motion by Ms. Gardner,
Second.
second by Mr. Bryant. Any discussion? Being none, let's vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0. Congratulations.
I graciously accept the position of ESE Program Director tonight. I want to begin by expressing my deepest appreciation to the board and to Mr. Chambers for their confidence in my vision and my abilities. To my predecessor, Ms. Amy Bowles, thank you for your work and dedication. Your work has set a high standard, and I am honored to continue building upon the foundation you have established. Though I'm sad to see her leave, I'm truly excited to see her new adventure. Ms. Ard, thank you for your support and guidance along the way, teaching, leading, and supporting me. I'm looking forward to our continued collaborative efforts. It's a privilege to work alongside my entire team along the way. Our mission in special education is both vital and urgent. We are not just educators. We are advocates, champions, and allies for students with unique challenges. As we move forward, my vision for our program is centered on collaboration, communication with our stakeholders within our department, and beyond. In closing, I want to extend my heartfelt thanks to my family and my friends for their unwavering support. Your encouragement and prayers are my strength and motivation. And to all of you, thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you.
Good, how are you? Yeah, Steve? Good. My dad's Steve. So some of you should go back around for stage. We got everybody. Yeah.
Now we're gonna have to squish.
Oh, I thought you were joining us.
And we're going to squish. There we go. Kids going up. Very good. Awesome. Can't see you, Robbie.
Switch. Go up towards the stage.
Ms. Ross, Ms. Ross, Ms. Ross, Ms. Ross. Come on. Apparently, thank you.
All right, so if you can't see Mr. Cannon's camera, the camera cannot see
Okay,
you.
yeah, and there's somebody in there, so yeah, y'all slide. You can slide out. There you go, that'll work. Everybody find a way to keep your head through. Very good. Okay, since we have so many, I'm gonna take a bunch of pictures. All right, just keep smiling. That way if you blink, it's okay.
Looks like they're gonna probably sit. Okay. All right, so that takes us through section 4 and brings us to section 5. Ms. Mary, I don't believe we have any public comment in this section here. Okay, so we're good. Moving on to section 6, committee and staff reports. In-county travel paid, out-of-county travel paid, and quarterly progress report of the Sales Surtax Citizens Oversight Committee. These were all addressed during our workshop today. Then moving on to section 7, consent agenda. I need a motion to approve the consent agenda.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Bryant.
second it.
Second by Ms. Evancheck. Any discussion? Being none, let's vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0. That'll take us now down to section 8. Superintendent's Human Resource Recommendations. 8.1, information only, admin leave. 8.2, information only, deferred retirement. 8.3, department staffing restructure, presented by Dr. Hale, Assistant Superintendent, Human Resources, and recommended by the Superintendent for approval. Need a motion.
I'll move it.
Motion by Ms. Gardner.
I'll second it.
Second by Ms. Evancheck. Any discussion? Being none, let's vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0. 8.4, employment separations, presented by Dr. Hale and recommended by the Superintendent.
So moved.
I'll
Motion by
second.
Mr. Bryant.
Second.
Second by Dr. Kelly. Any discussion? Being none, let's vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0. 8.5, personnel recommendations, presented by Dr. Hale and recommended by the Superintendent.
I'll move it.
Motion
second it.
by Ms. Gardner, second by Ms. Evancheck. Any discussion? Being none, let's vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0. 8.6, employee transfers, presented by Dr. Hale and recommended by the Superintendent.
I'll move it.
Motion by Dr. Kelly,
Second.
second by Mr. Bryan. Any discussion? Being none, let's vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0. 8.7, employee reinstatement, presented by Dr. Hale and recommended by the Superintendent.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Bryant,
Second. Go ahead, Linda.
second by Ms. Gardner. Any discussion? Hearing none, let's vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0. 8.8, reinstatement reimbursement of sick leave due to line of duty illness, injury, medical examination, presented by Dr. Hale and recommended by the Superintendent.
I'll move it.
Motion by Dr. Kelly,
Second.
second by Mr. Bryan. Any discussion? Being none, let's vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0. And then 8.9, leave without pay, presented by Dr. Hale and recommended by the Superintendent.
I'll move it.
Motion by Ms. Evancheck.
Second.
Second, all right then. Second by Ms. Gardner. Any discussion?
Aye.
Being none, let's vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0. All right, so discussion agenda, there were no items moved. Section 10, 10.1, program status report by the board's representative, Dr. Kelly.
No report tonight. However, I do want to thank Mr. Meyer for his report this morning. A picture paints 1,000 words, and he did a fabulous job.
Yeah, very good. Thank you, ma'am. All right, 8.2 is an action item. Authorization for professional services for CMI price validation for TM project program number 6, task orders and scope modifications, presented by Dr. Smith and recommended by the superintendent.
I'll move it.
Motion by Mr.
I'll
Bryant.
second it.
Second by Ms. Evancheck. Any discussion? Being none, let's vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0. 10.3, TPM program number 6, task order number 43, pre-GMP master plan for Okaloosa Technical College North, presented by Dr. Smith and recommended by the superintendent.
I'll make a motion on that.
Motion by Mr. Bryant.
I'll second.
Second by Dr. Kelly. Any discussion?
Yes, I have one thing to
Yes,
say.
sir.
This is so exciting. It's happening, so it's really exciting.
Okay. With that comment, we need to vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0. 10.4, TPM program number 6, task order number 32, scope mod number 1, pre-GMP for Florosa roofing project, presented by Dr. Smith and recommended by the superintendent.
So
I'll move that.
Second.
Motion by Ms. Evancheck, second by Mr. Bryan. Any discussion? Being none, let's vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0. Mr. Attorney, any business, sir?
No report tonight.
Superintendent, anything this evening?
Thank you. As you know, I gave a report this morning as well as a department brief. So I'm not going to give any additional information, but I do want to say one thing. There is a hero in our midst. And today we had a hometown hero. And Cumulus Radio and the Eglin Federal Credit Union. So they have a hometown hero where they represent or they recognize folks in our community. And Mr. Horton was our hometown hero today. And these words are so eloquently coming out of my mouth right now, but and I'm probably struggling a little bit because, of course, you know he's going to be retiring, and we hate to see him go. And I'm not going to give those type of words right now. But you talk about someone who's worthy of being a hometown hero. That's Mr. Horton. He has a heart for education. If you looked up an educator in the dictionary, whether it's teacher, administrator, support professional, you could see a picture of him. So someone who's so worthy of this award, and it was nice to see his wife there, his son Brooks there, and we had our staff there. But just someone who's definitely a great representation of a hometown hero. So just congratulations for that.
Congratulations.
It's well deserved.
All right, thank you, sir. All right, colleagues, that brings us down to board members' business. I know some of you spoke about some items at the workshop, but you may have some other things. And Ms. Gardner, I'll start with you, ma'am.
Well, I mentioned I left my notes and dates at the house. I brought them here. We know that the 1st of June, what that brings on, the hurricane preparedness, sales tax holidays, and that will start, I guess, Saturdays, June 1st. So just to remind everybody to get out there and to, from what we hear, it's going to be maybe a busy season. Let's hope not. But your batteries, your flashlights, and things like that. And I had forgotten pet supplies. So don't forget about your pets. You can go ahead and stock up on dog food and cat food, whatever you need right there. But it's from June 1st to June 14th, and I didn't remember that there was a second one, and it's August 24th to September the 6th, and that's there for the peak of the season. So you have two opportunities, but I recommend not to wait on that. But also, back to school supplies, July 29th, and I know that sounds so far away, but as I was reading my emails several days ago, curriculum department's already planning for the admin retreat to get ready to go back to school just in 4 short weeks, so people don't really realize that how busy the summers are for our curriculum and our office up this way. But you've already hit the ground running and preparing for the upcoming school year. And sorry for being late to the meeting, but we had such an excellent report from Jason Belcher, and it helped me so much as I'm sitting in miles and miles and miles of traffic and trying to get over Mid-Bay Bridge. And all I could think about was Mr. Belcher's speech when he was talking about our visitors, our tourists, that it's 55%, they pay 55% of this sales tax, and it helped me just kind of calm a little bit because there were, like I said, miles of traffic. But I appreciated his committee report and all that he does and his and in this oversight committee, but it did help quite a bit as I'm sitting in that traffic, that this traffic jam is helping the Okaloosa County school system. So, but that's all.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yep, everybody at Crab Island, that's right.
Yes,
Got it. So,
yes, it's okay.
I really don't have anything to add except just wishing everybody a happy summer and a safe summer. And like you said, it really doesn't ever stop for the school
does not.
district. People think we stop, but actually it just continues. But it's all good, and it's been a good year and getting ready for another good one. So thank you.
Very good. Thank you, Mr. Bryant.
I'll just echo what Ms. Vanchek said. I hope everybody has a great summer. Thank y'all.
Thank you. Dr. Kelly?
Just say kudos to Mr. Horton. I hope you enjoy a lively, fun, and also relaxing retirement. We've enjoyed working with you. And also, don't forget about the summer feeding program. Check the Okaloosa County Schools website for those locations. If you have a child 18 or under, they may be eligible to have summer food, breakfast and lunch, I believe. So check for those sites. And other than that, have a safe, relaxing, and enjoyable summer.
Thank you, Dr. Kelly. And, you know, today there were some accolades passed out, and they were well-deserved and well-earned. And I know the superintendent bragged on the board, and the board bragged on the superintendent, particularly in one of the presentations that were made. But I just wanted to say that for me, it's been a pleasure working with this particular school board, to have a board that's so professional and so business-minded and clearly understands their role according to law, and basically takes care of business in a very professional and, in my mind, very admirable way. And I'm just grateful for that. It's a good thing.
Thank you, Dr. White.
Yeah. it's
And we have a
true.
good time sometimes.
It's the
don't we?
truth. It's the truth.
We appreciate you being the
Oh,
chair.
well, thank
Well, and I
thanks
just
for
want to
that.
add to that,
times.
a board that's involved. I know we have been around for a long time, and I don't remember a board that that were in the schools and standing there at graduation, but I just appreciate and admire all of us that
Thank
we
you.
are involved in our schools, and we see firsthand and we talk firsthand to our principals and our teachers. So I think
And
that's
Dr. White,
important
I'll
for
turn
board
that
members.
back around on you too. I've appreciated being your colleague at many different junctures in our careers, and
Well,
certainly
thanks.
appreciate your different terms on this board as chairman through some difficult times.
Well, thanks, Dr. Kelly. And those same sentiments extend toward the staff. And certainly, Mr. Horton, I'm still looking in your contract, trying to find a little
Yep.
clause that not going to let you go. But we appreciate all of you, and Jay and Bill and everybody else back there, Grant, all of you. Y'all do a good job and very professional about it.
I
That's
think if
important.
Mr. Horton doesn't take his retirement, I think you can come back within 6 months, isn't that the?
Oh, okay. All right, all right. Well, that was my comment for this evening. We do have an item of business, and that is 13.2, and you know from the workshop today that Ms. Evanchek has been serving as our member to the Value Adjustment Board, and Mr. Bryant has been serving as the alternate, and both have agreed to continue in that role. And also, Mr. Mike Carroll has agreed to continue. So we need a motion from Dr. Kelly or Ms. Gardner to formalize that particular
Oh,
appointment.
no,
I'll
you're
be-
gonna
I'll be
leave it
happy
to
to
you
make
two.
that motion.
A motion by Dr. Kelly.
And I'll be happy to second.
And a second by Ms. Gardner. And is there any more discussion about that?
No.
All
Y'all
right.
did that very quick, I noticed that. Let them have it.
In that case, then, we need to vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0. All right. And Ms. Mary, I don't think we have any other cards for any public comment. Anything else from the dais this evening? How about staff? I don't see association, so this meeting is adjourned.